News at 6.
This is a live picture of the Uptown area in Minneapolis, where the protesters are snarling traffic for the second time in 2 nights. And in St. Paul, this is a protest against an X-rated theater. And this is a live picture, too. Our news crews are standing by, as you can see, to update both of these developing stories for us tonight. Good evening, everyone. We're going to begin with a protest in Minneapolis. Last night, as we showed you, demonstrations against U.S. military involvement in Central America led to 6 arrests in the Uptown area.
And what looks like a mixed bag of protesters is back again. Let's check that out. Let's go to Lou Harvin, live in Uptown right now. Lou, what is happening out there?
It's very hard to hear you, but right now there are about 300 people out here at the intersection of Hennepin and Lake, and they are still protesting what they call the unnecessary U.S. involvement in Honduras. Right now, about a block of the entire section around Hennepin and Lake is shut off right now. One group that is not demonstrating today, Women Against Military Madness. They say they are still very unhappy about what happened last night. Women Against Military Madness are embarrassed because they say this is not the message they wanted portrayed. Instead of making it a night to complain about the United States' involvement in Central America, it turned into a confrontation between police and troublemakers who set fire in dumpsters, stopped traffic, sprayed graffiti on businesses, police car no exception. Moira Moga, a member of WHAM, concedes her group had a hard time convincing teens and those called Twin City anarchists to leave last night. Avoiding this problem at future demonstrations is their bigger concern.
That is a problem, and it's what we are trying to really figure out, because we don't want to let ourselves be put in that position I just described of being arguing among the peace groups.
For that reason, WHAM members say they will not take part in any demonstrations that have been discussed for this afternoon. So far, there has been no violence or any property damage or anything like that, but the intersection is still shut off here at Hennepin Lake, and the police are staying away right now, saying they're just going to be calm, and if something happens, then they'll move in. Stan and Ruth? I'm sorry. Next we're going to go to a piece now from Jackie Renner, who was talking about some of the businesses earlier. They had some problems, and here's what they had to say.
Parts of last night's demonstration made Uptown merchants very nervous. After seeing property from the streets damaged, they wondered if their stores might be next. A few shopkeepers did end up scraping spray-painted graffiti off their windows. So this morning, the association Carrie DeWall represents asked police to protect storefronts if another demonstration took place.
What was asked of them was that they provide some officers up here to more or less be in front of some of the store windows and business areas.
But police turned down the request, saying that type of presence might incite protesters. These main doors to Calhoun Square were locked at 6 o'clock last night. People could only get in or out through back doors. 2 hours later, at 8 o'clock, police asked all the shops to close up. Merchants say that cost them money, although they haven't calculated exactly how much. And store manager Michelle Cousins hopes it doesn't happen again tonight.
Because we'd lose business and we'd lose money. We need to stay open until 9 o'clock.
Yesterday's demonstration hurt business at Croissant Express as well, but manager John Upton's sympathies lie with protesters.
At least the people were doing something, and they were actively involved in it. Instead of standing by and not saying anything, like a lot of people become very complacent about it.
Police say they closed businesses to keep the public out of a potentially dangerous situation, and they wouldn't hesitate to do so again. Jackie Renner, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
All we can say right now is that if you're going to plan on coming to this area, it's best to stay away from Hennepin Lake tonight, because the block in every direction is shut off right now. The police are just standing by, and we're going to stay out here and let you know what happens tonight at 10 o'clock. Back to you, Stan and Ruth.
All right, Lou, thank you
Thanks,
very
Lou.
much. Well, there were hundreds of protesters clogging that Uptown area yesterday, bringing traffic to a halt. Police only arrested 6 people, and today those 6 were charged with disorderly conduct. It's a misdemeanor charge with a maximum sentence of 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $700.
As we told you on Live at 5, President Reagan's decision to send U.S. troops to Honduras is sparking many protests all around our country. So it's not surprising that Central American groups are rallying in smaller communities, like you see here in Duluth. At noon today, about 100 people gathered in the middle of downtown Duluth to sing songs, to chant slogans against the U.S. intervention. They represent a number of different groups who chose to protest peacefully. And as we told you just a few minutes ago, there is another protest going on right now in town. People from several St. Paul neighborhoods are rallying against an X-rated theater. Carolyn Booker joins us live at University and Dale, where that protest is going on. Carolyn?
Thank you, Ruth. A lot of people, maybe about 75 people, have been gathered here since about 4 o'clock. They are outside the Faust Theater. They're protesting the existence of the Faust Theater and also the fact that the owners want to move to another area of University Avenue. There's been years of legal battles, and the city decided to buy out the Faust, hoping that the problems would end there, but they haven't. People in the neighborhood surrounding the proposed site are fighting the move, and the person galvanizing and organizing is a woman who decided she had to get involved because she doesn't want that where she lives. Family is very important to Mary Ann Jens, and just as important is the neighborhood where her family lives. She has lived in St. Paul's St. Anthony Park community for 10 years. The thought of an adult movie theater being several blocks from her home is unsettling.
I'm scared to death. I live in this neighborhood. I love this neighborhood.
In the last few weeks, Jens has held down her regular job, kept up with her college courses and the family. She's also pulled together a major protest, something she's never done before.
We have done networking through churches and colleges. There are people that have worked on extensive flyers and signing.
Jen says it's been intense but exciting and that she's fully committed to doing whatever it takes within the law.
We just want to give the Faust people the message that, as far as we're concerned, they're not welcome in any neighborhood or any area that's near neighborhoods in St. Paul.
People are again listening right now to a few speeches and continuing to rally here. This is a bit of a unique protest in that picketers began at 4 this afternoon and they will be here until 2 in the morning. They'll come back again tomorrow at noon and stay till 2 in the morning again and then come right back on Sunday at noon. They hope to make sure that their message is heard.
A full weekend of protests in St. Paul. Thank you very much,
Thanks,
Carolyn
Carolyn.
Booker.